Welcome back to Leading Edge. I'm Jerry Anderson. He is Tim Ryan. If you don't know who he is, I'll guarantee you he's going to be one of the most talked about political names in the state of Ohio this year, certainly in 2022. Why, Jerry? Why 2022? Well, you see, next year, one of Ohio's 2 U.S. Senate seats will be a rare open seat. Senator Portman, you recall, joined me here on the program just 2 weeks ago. Good money, says Tim Ryan, you're running. New York Times says you've talked with several Democratic leaders, including a friend of this show, Marcy Kaptur. Are you running? Or let me ask you, what, if anything, would keep you from running?
Well, we're not going to make any news right now. Sorry to say, Jerry.
Oh, we're out of time.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm very, very interested in it. I come from the Youngstown area. I got into politics to make a big difference, not just a difference, but a big difference. And anytime there's an opportunity like this to make a big difference, I'm certainly going to look very closely at it. And I think that the Senate could use somebody from a place like Niles, Ohio, or Toledo, where we understand what working class people are going through, how concentrated the wealth has become in the country, how hard it is, how betrayed many workers have been by globalization and automation. So it's very intriguing to me to think, be on the floor of the United States Senate and be able to advocate for the people who've been forgotten. So we're looking at it very, very closely. We are making calls around the state, getting tremendous support around the state and country. Again, you announced it at the beginning. I've been doing this almost 20 years, and we have a lot of friends around the state. And so, should we choose to do it, I think we could run a really powerful campaign. And, again, I got a beautiful wife and 3 young kids. So we're going to make a decision as a family over the coming days.
Tim Ryan, Ohio's electoral map, and you take a look at it, as a sea of red. You know that. Much of Mr. Trump's success in Ohio, both in 16 and then in 20, last fall, came from turning many formerly Democratic voters, and especially right over there in your neck of the woods, turning them. The phrase that is out there, I read it this week, Trump Democrats. I don't know if that makes your skin kind of beat up or what. How do you get those voters back?
You talk about the issues that are important to them. We can't, offer pie in the sky solutions. We've got to offer things that are actually going to help working class people, whether they're white or they're black or they're brown. If you're working class, you've got to see the Democratic Party advocating directly for your economic needs. That means your wages, your health care, your benefits, your pension, your kids' education, the security and safety of your neighborhood and your community. These are the bread and butter issues that the vast majority of people are talking about. And quite frankly, Donald Trump did a good job of talking about those issues. And I think a lot of those people who went and moved to Trump moved there because the system has been broken for them for 30 years. So you know better in Toledo. Yeah. We know better in Youngstown how painful this economic situation has been. He spoke to that. And that's why they went and voted for him twice. And I think that if Democrats have that kind of laser focus on the economic interests of the average person who's just trying to get ahead, just trying to move ahead, but that we're going to be decisive, we're going to take on the tough issues, we're going to advocate for them at the highest levels of government, those voters will come back to vote for Democratic candidates that are speaking that way. That's the way I talk. That's the way Sherrod Brown talks. But a lot of Democrats don't. And we need to change that.
You may have seen recently, Marcy Kaptur, longest serving woman in the U.S. House of Representatives, went very public recently with her contention that your party's leadership, we're talking on the national level, your party's leadership, in her words, doesn't get the Midwest, its workers and their lives. Do you agree with that?
No question.
Yeah.
And I love Marcy, and I've worked with her. I sit on her subcommittee that she chairs, the energy subcommittee. Marcy and I have had long conversations about this numerous times over the last 20 years. And we're in total agreement. It's the Toledos, it's the Youngstowns and Warrens and Niles that have been forgotten. And we're in agreement on that. And that's something that we desperately need to change. I know Marcy fights every single day. She's one of my favorite politicians, not just in Ohio, in the country, because she stands up and articulates the complexities of the economy, but why people in Toledo need to be plugged in. And so she's right. And that's what we need to change. And that's what's intriguing about the Senate race here is if we can have an economic message, if we could get back to these bread and butter issues, which I think Joe Biden is. He's talking about building electric vehicles, building charging stations, manufacturing again in the United States, buying American. He's talking about all those things that Marcy talks about and that I talk about. So if we could actually shift this Democratic Party to focus on those issues, we can once again become a national party. But it's going to take Marcy Kaptur and the Tim Ryans of the world to really win races and get the attention of those national leaders if we're going to become a national party.
By the way, folks, Tim Ryan, my guest here, earned a law degree from up at the University of New Hampshire, but many may not realize, sir, that your academic resume has Northwest Ohio playing an integral role, does it not?
I'm a Falcon. I spent a few years at Bowling Green, and some of the best years of my life were there. I will admit I had a few beers in Toledo over the course of my career at Bowling Green, but made a lot of great friends, learned a lot about Northwest Ohio. And that was, quite frankly, when I first went to Toledo, I thought to myself, and we went to Tony Paco's and all the rest, I remember saying, boy, this looks a lot like where I come from.
Yeah.
And I had great times in Wood County and in Bowling Green, and always look forward to getting back.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. My thanks to Congressman Tim Ryan, weighing a run for the U.S. Senate. I say he's running for the U.S. Senate from our state, and also, in the meantime, fighting for accountability following one of the darkest days many of us Americans have lived through. Congressman, thanks for your time. Let's talk again. And
great to be with you, Jerry. Take care.
Also ahead, celebrating a birthday on Valentine's Day, the Toledo cultural landmark that is doing just that. Next on Leading Edge.